Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for showing up. Looks like a active couple of days to start the period, and then back to summertime. Headlines for this briefing: we've got some enhanced chances for thunderstorms, mainly today through tomorrow, and there is a marginal threat for severe storms. Primary threat will continue to be damaging winds, but there will be a little bit of a hail probability with this, and of course the ever-present lightning and localized heavy rain threat. After that, we get back into the afternoon, evening thunderstorm routine. Obviously, an isolated strong to severe storm can't be ruled out on any of those days, but no widespread significant impacts are expected. We will continue warm and humid outside of the areas that get some rain over the next few days into early next week. We do have a chance that we get a little bit of cooling in by the middle of next week. And the one bright spot on the briefing: tropics continue quiet for now. Currently, we do have a little bit of shower thunderstorm activity across the region. This has weakened significantly from the overnight period, but we are already starting to see some new showers and thunderstorms popping up in the warmer air out here ahead of that system. The general pattern: we have a cold front and a low approaching. This is associated with a pretty strong upper level system for this time of year, fairly far south down into the mid-Mississippi and Ohio Valley region. That's what's going to be giving us our severe weather threat the next couple of days. For June, especially for late June, pretty good mid-level winds associated with this, so we may see a little bit more organized thunderstorm activity starting today and rolling through the day tomorrow. With that in mind, SPC has updated our day one for today. They have put in this marginal risk across mainly the I-85 corridor, roughly I-85, I-20 corridor. That's in the area out ahead of the clouds associated with the earlier rain, where we're seeing a little bit of heating going on, allowing the atmosphere to destabilize some. The threat back here to the northwest, that's more as we go into tomorrow morning as the stuff that builds up to the north and west of us approaches. Day two, they extend that marginal threat through pretty much all of North Georgia and a portion of Central Georgia, and even bring a slight risk up to our northwest border. The better chances for severe with this system will remain west of us, but it will push into the area as we go into the day tomorrow. Just a rough timing for tomorrow. By 2 p.m., we should see some decent activity building up over Alabama and approaching western portions of north and central Georgia. By 4 p.m., that's pushing into the area, moving into the Atlanta metropolitan area down into around Columbus. By 8 p.m., that has pushed down into central Georgia. We got potential for some more activity moving into the north. And although it won't die off completely, you see by midnight it does diminish in coverage, but with the front in the general region and the strong upper level system just north of us, we won't have the thunderstorm activity completely die off through the day. Moving into Saturday and Sunday, that upper level system starts lifting into the northeastern portion of the country, leaves the cold front just north of us, but we start getting the upper ridge building back in. It will suppress the thunderstorm activity some, but we'll still have the afternoon and evening activity building up. Day three, severe weather or convective outlook, shows just general thunder. Obviously, during the summer here, we can still get an isolated severe storm. For the remainder of the week, as that system moves off further and the upper ridge builds into the area, we get a little bit of a backdoor cold front that moves in. Hopefully, that spells a little bit drier, a little bit milder air into the region. We'll still have the potential for some afternoon and evening thunderstorms, but probably more isolated with this setup because of the drier air. And because of that, days 4 through 8, there's no particular enhanced threat for severe weather. Going to take a look here. We have the last couple of days been fairly high on our heat index values in the afternoon, especially across central and eastern Georgia. That continues today across that area where they are getting a little more sunshine than we are across the northern portion of the area. And again, tomorrow, with the better chances for more widespread thunderstorms being across the north, even across central Georgia, by afternoon, things should start clouding up a little. We should get some at least scattered thunderstorms into that area, and hopefully we'll take a little bit of the edge off of that. But as I was mentioning earlier, by Sunday, as that upper level ridge starts building in, the heat starts building back in too. Sunday and Monday, portions of eastern and central Georgia, we'll see heat index values at least approaching heat advisory levels. We're going to keep a close eye on this. Hopefully, as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, if that backdoor front comes through, we should see an easing of that heat potential. Rainfall over the next 7 days, we're looking at expected averages an inch or less across the eastern and southern portions of our forecast area here into central Georgia. About an inch to an inch and a half, and of course these are averages. We're going to have locally higher amounts. About an inch to an inch and a half up the I-85 corridor, and about an inch and a half to 2 inches possible across the far north in some of our higher elevations up there. Not expecting any widespread flooding issues with this type of rainfall, but any area that sees persistent or repeated thunderstorm activity in an afternoon or an evening might see some localized flash flood problems develop. And speaking of the larger scale flood issues, our larger reservoirs remain full, but stream flows have generally returned to normal or near normal. So we do have some capacity here on our medium to larger rivers to absorb this rainfall. The threat for any flooding would be more on the smaller creeks or into low-lying areas, some street flooding, that type of thing with some of the stronger storms. Not a lot of change in our drought status across the region. Most of the area is doing pretty well. There's a little bit of abnormally dry just to the west of us, but we're not losing ground, at least, with our area remaining outside of any drought conditions. As I was mentioning earlier, no tropical cyclone activity expected to develop over the next 5 days. Actually, looking out through the medium range models, I don't see any of them hinting at anything through at least the next 7 to 10 days, which is good news. If we want to look out a little farther towards the next upcoming holiday, July 4th holiday, this is for the June 28th through July 4th period. The 8 to 14 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center showing our area remaining in pretty good chances for above normal temperatures and above normal precipitation. Pretty similar to what we've been having. Summarize that enhanced chance for thunderstorms with the marginal threat for severe storms today and Friday. Back to a more afternoon evening pattern as we get towards the end of the weekend and through next week. Warm, humid conditions continue, and quiet down in the tropics. Okay, thank you for showing up.